Okay, in tonight's video, I'm going to give you a guide to going to Ops 61. Ops 61 Plus has been very difficult for a lot of players. We've had a lot of players on multiple servers quit because it was just so difficult once you got there. And I can say it hasn't been easy for me, but I prepared myself and it was an easier transition. When you get up here, it's going to be a whole new economy. All Sigma resources. You're going to have Sigma speed ups, so all the speed ups that you've collected so far won't be no good for the G6 ships or the buildings or anything like that. You're going to have to re-requiring everything. So it's like going from Ops 60 to Ops 23 again, back when you didn't have enough lat to make instant upgrades to your stuff, or you didn't have enough speed ups to do it. It's going to be exactly like that. It's going to be like being a low player again, because unless you want to spend a lot of money to have instant results, it's going to be very difficult unless you prepare. And that's one of the things I've always done in this game. Practically at Ops 23, I put a roadmap to get me to 60 because the Rotarian was a ship that I've always wanted. Still my favorite ship in the game. You know, at that time there was no 61 space or above, you know. I had a plan. I stayed to it the whole time. Scopely threw a couple of curveballs in there and I had to readjust, but I kept going and kept to my plan. And that's the best thing about doing this game. You want to be able to make a game plan and stick to it. So here's some tips that I'm going to give you if you're thinking about going up to 61 to make your transition just a little bit easier. Okay, first of all, you're going to want to have at least one 60 epic ship, and you want it to be at least tier 8. I recommend it to be tier 9 or above. I had my Rotarian at tier 10. I had an easy time punching up and doing my dailies and stuff like that. So that's what I would recommend. And also, once you get up here, you're going to want to finish tiering it out, getting it all the way done. And if you do that, I can tell you, you can ride that thing out to 66. Okay, you're going to want to have 1 or 2 factions at the 17 billion milestone. And that's where you can get blueprints for the Ops 61 mining ship, which is called the Silky. That's going to be key. Right out the bait, you do want to even think about going to 61 until you got that. If you saw my previous video, I made a mistake and put 16 billion. So I'm re-recording this so with the right number on it, because I looked at the chart wrong. Because it was about over almost a year ago since I reached this milestone, so I didn't exactly remember where it was. I thought it was at 16 billion, but actually it's at 17 billion. So that's where you want it. You want to be able to get those blueprints. You want to be working on your reputation at all times. In my game, I'm at least 2 ops levels higher than what my current ops level is. And I've kept that pretty much since I was ops 34. And I've been able to get all my blueprints for all my faction ships. They're waiting for me when I have the shipyard built at that milestone level. And that's really what you want to do. It saves you a lot of money. You can use whatever cash that you want to spend tearing it up or upgrading buildings or whatever you want to do. You don't have to spend it buying blueprints. And I can tell you that saved me a lot of money in this game. The next thing you want to do, like I said, you want to at least have all 150 of your Silky blueprints before you go up. You're going to need that ship the second you go to 61. I was able to make the shipyard and get it started. I kind of got low on lat for the speed up, so I didn't have it until like a day and a half after I went up there. And I'll talk about that a little bit later in this presentation. But you want to have all 150 Silky blueprints when you go up, because that ship is important. It's the first ship in the game that you're able to mine or raid for Sigma resources. None of the other ships that you currently have will be able to mine it. Your Nova and the Ops 58 ship. Now that one, you can mine the G6 materials, but you can't do the Sigma. And the next thing, you want to have most of your station at level 60. I'll kind of show you what it's like at my station at Op 66, and you'll see how I got it. But you want most of your station at level 60 when you go up. It's a given. Your academy, your R&D, and your shipyard's going to be at 60 because you won't be able to go up without that. Those are requirements to go to 61. And when you make that shipyard at Op 60, you're going to get a token in the mission tree to redeem, and it will let you go up to 61 right then. But don't do it because you're not ready. Believe me, you won't be ready to go to 61 at that point. So don't do it. I know a lot of people have done it because they had enough parasteel on hand to go with that token and go right to 61. That's a huge mistake. Don't do it. It's a trap. It'll get you to make you have to spend a lot more money once you get there. But before you go to 61, you want to have your refinery, your docks, your platforms, your science buildings, your resource warehouse, vaults, your resource generator A and B, your hangar, your shuttle building, and your recycle building all at 60. The reason why I say that, because they're all going to be requirements when you go to 60, one of the upper levels. You're going to have all those at the current level. And if you're way behind on it, it's going to make it a lot more difficult for you to go up. Those are the ones that I think are key to try to do if you can at each level. You also want to have about 50 to 65 million in latinum. And you say, why that much? Well, I had 40 when I went up. And once you get up there, you have no resources. But it's all common, so you can buy it with latinum. For me, at least, to get from going to the ops level 61 and getting to my shipyard, it nearly cost all of my 40 million in latinum. Like I said, I had to wait a day and a half before I could get my silky out because I had to let it time out some. And like I said, you don't have speed ups, so you got to buy them. You're going to see how expensive these speed ups are once we go to the gameplay. After I do this presentation here. This isn't a primary one here, but if you do this, it's going to make it a lot easier for you once you go up, because I would have at least 50 to 100 trillion in parasteel. You can go into the Sigma refinery and you can exchange regular resources for Sigma resources. And parasteel is going to be the one that you're going to need the most right out the gate. You're going to need some tritanium too for the silky, but I don't remember it being very expensive to buy it. But the parasteel will go fast on you, so you're going to need that. Like I said, I took 40 up, and I didn't have enough to buy the last speed ups for the silky. I had to let it time out for a day and a half. And also, you want to max out your research as much as possible. And I think that's a given, because if you're really behind in your research, it's going to make your ships really weak, your base very weak. You want to do as much of that research as possible before you go up, and almost make that is the reason that forces you to go up, because you don't have very much left to do once you get up there, because there are going to be some researchers are going to be locked out until you get to 61. Okay, now we're in game. I'm going to show you a few things. Let's go to the factions first. As you can see, I am 2/3 of the way to Idolize, which that is the reputation level that unlocks the 68 mining ship, which is this ship here. It's a mining ship. I didn't get my 58 mining ship because I didn't need it, but I definitely am going to get this one, because I need the warp range that the Silky doesn't have. But the one that we're going to be talking about right tonight is the Silky. And as you see, you need 150 blueprints to unlock it, and I would definitely have 150 blueprints before I unlock it. Like I said, it's the 16 billion milestone in reputation. And you definitely want to have that before you even think about going to level 61. You notice my resource generators and buildings. Like you see, I got them all at 65. I just recently went to 66. So I've had time to work on these. But You can see I already got the two parasteel ones at 66, the Generos A and B. And you can see, what is the last one? H. I would say C through H. I wouldn't focus a lot on these. Like I said, I'll use these during like a domination event that doesn't score using mats, that just scores on PowerPoints. I'll upgrade these, and that's how I did these. You can see where I got the ones at 61. The biggest horror story that I heard going up, that I heard people talking about. And some of us have gotten a taste of it in the mirror universe, but that one's not a hazard space. Now let's talk about hazard space. You can see there, that one's not a hazard. See, there's no emblem down here. If you go up to hazard space, you see the little emblem here. And it also tells you what kind of hazard it is. And there are three kinds. There's this ion storm, there's the asteroids, and there are also the radiation. And you can go into your research tree and build up resistance to them. Okay, let's take a look at hazard space. I'll use my NX01's ability to look into systems. Okay, here's a hazard space. Like in the asteroid fields, ones they actually see little asteroids going down. But so what happens here, like as maybe some of y'all have noticed in the mirror universe where they had the hazards there. As soon as your ship goes into the space, it starts losing hull health. And in your dailies, there are dailies that if you come in and kill some of these hostiles, it'll give you hazard credits. But I would say going to 61, I would avoid hazard space. And one of the things that I was surprised, the way that those guys were talking about in Discord, I thought every one of these systems had hazard space, but that's really not true. I don't think it starts until the 63 systems. And still not every one of them. There's one. Here's one that's not. There's a 63 with Sigma Tri in it, and you can go in here and mine. You don't have to worry about the hazard. You can go up here and take out the hostiles in this system too, and not worry about the hazard. And throughout here, there's going to be ones with hazards, ones with not. Okay, here's another system that no hazards. No hazards. Of course, hazards, we already looked at that one. We got hazards in there. No hazard there. No hazard there. Well, hazard there. No hazard there. And hazard there. That's what this space looks like. And that's something you're going to have to prepare for. But at 61, you don't really even need to engage with that. You could go ahead and go to 61 at tier, have the ship at tier 8, and you're okay. You can just stay out of the hazard systems. I didn't really start engaging with it till Op 63, I'll be honest with you. I tried it a couple of times, and it didn't seem like it was worth it, but there are researches in there. You're going to need the hazard materials to be able to do them. And eventually you're going to have to engage it, but you can wait till you're stronger. And also you earn a little bit of a drip of the hazard materials. You can start like focusing on whatever system you think you're going to be grinding in. Say you're going to go into this 63. You go in there and say, okay, that one has radiation. I need to start grinding in this 63 system. I need to work on the radiation resistance or whatever. in here, and you can see that there are different levels. The higher this number is, the more damage it's going to do to your ship. Like you can see right now, my NX-01 has a shielding of 145 versus 200% damage. So that buys me a little more time into that system. And that's something you can do. Like I said, that's what I did until I was at 63. Then I started engaging with it, which once you engage and you earn the dailies from that, it's going to help you advance higher. But 61, I wouldn't worry about the hazard. You can avoid them and still be able to do your dailies, mine, and do whatever you need to do without ever engaging with the hazards. But if you're brave, you think you can get in there and get out there really quick, then it's something you can do. But that was another horror story that I heard that I was like, man, because at that point I got 13 billion in repairs I got to do every time my ship dies. Once you get up into the Sigma thing, the regular resources, you end up piling up because you're not spending them on upgrades anymore. So it's going to start piling up on you. And so, like I'll go in here and I'll show you exchange. Let's go do that. See here it says Sigma resources. And let me show you the mining. So that's why you're going to need the Silky. If you're going to take a single pull, which is 2 chests, so it'll be double whatever you get up here, you're going to need 369 of this mined. And it doesn't sound like a lot because you're coming from G5's economy. This is a lot. Let me get one of my Silkies out. I'll get one of my tier 1 ones. See, that's just a baby one. I just made it. I haven't done any upgrades on it, so I want you to see that. And you can see, look how small that cargo bay is compared to your other mining ships that you're using now. And I'll show you, I got a tier 6 one. I'll pull that one out. This is the main one I use when I'm not mass mining. I don't have quite a million. I've got 825,000 that I can put in there. Let's get the NX-01. Usually the 61 systems are going to have the first place that you're going to be able to get the Sigma. We'll go in there and look at it. Let's find a full node. There we go, 300K. Let me change to this one. As you can see, even my tier 6 one, it would take me 5 hours to clean that one out. You can see what I'm talking about. Your mining speed's a lot slower. That's why the cargo bays are smaller, because you're not going to be able to mine as quickly as you did your regular resources or your G5 mats. You're not going to be able to do that. Probably the biggest issue going to Ops 61 or into G6 space is the Sigma speed ups. As you can see, I got 2 days there. Number one, there's no way to resource these speed ups for more than, I think, an hour. I think that's the most I've ever won grinding. The most I've gotten a pack is like 1 15-hour speed up. The rest of it's all lat. As you can see right there, some of the prices for that. 1.5 for a day. 500,000 for 8 hours. And I believe the 3 hours is 100,000. So it's very costly. You can see I've got 2 buildings building, timing out, and I got 2 G6 researches timing out that also uses Sigma. I will let those time out quite a bit if I do speed them up. It's just too expensive to buy those, and you waste too much latinum. I had to do that going to 61 to get my shipyard. I had to use the speed ups
because basically I had just a little bit that I'd won doing some stuff. For some reason, I did have a few, but not enough. So that's the biggest stick point in going to G6 space is the sigma speed ups.
That's all I can think of. And so, but if you have any questions, leave it in the comment box and I'll try to answer them the best I can. Until next time.